That Jokic is already top 20 player all time.
We laughed about this off screen and, wasn't really counting his 3 MVPs, but I'm still not going to say he's top 20.
Nikola Jokic is climbing the all-time ladder fast and is getting uncomfortable for the history books. Every season, every award, every record just stacks higher, pushing past names people once thought were untouchable. His stats aren't just good, they're history shifting, and the league can't look away anymore. Carrying a franchise on his back while making it look easy has turned his legacy from great player into erratic. But here's the real tension. How do the legends feel about this rise? Does Jokic really belong in the same breath as the game's sacred names? He slows the game down, dissects it, and controls every possession like a chess match. To some, that looks revolutionary. To others, it feels like a break from what greatness used to look like. And then came the moment that shut a lot of people up. Michael Jordan, widely considered the greatest player ever, finally acknowledged Nikola Jokic's impact. In a rare public moment, praised Jokic's complete skill set and unreal court vision, saying the way he controls the game is something special. That kind of respect doesn't get handed out lightly. When Jordan speaks, the conversation changes.
It's just, we've never seen that kind of dominance offensively and even defensively for somebody who doesn't look, who's not athletic. For him to be able to guard the way that he does. I see him, during timeouts telling his teammates where to be. He's always pointing where they need to go.
All shots on the Denver Nuggets, when you're looking at their offense, it obviously goes through him, but everything is in rhythm. With that endorsement, Jokic's place among basketball's elite stopped being a debate and started becoming reality. He isn't just winning games, he's changing how the position is played. And then there's Larry Bird, one of the sharpest basketball minds ever, often compared to Jokic for a reason.
I would love to play against him. He's good.
He's good, right?
He's good. There's so many great centers over the history of our game. Man, is he good. I just hope he stays healthy and able to continue to do what he does because he is fun to watch. Probably more so than anybody in the league. It used to be that when the Golden State was healthy, they were really fun to watch. Now I've switched over to Denver. He makes that whole thing go. And wouldn't he be fun to play with?
Neither relied on flashy athleticism. Both used intelligence, touch, and next-level passing to destroy defenses. Bird did it as a forward, Jokic does it as a center, but the vision is the same. Seeing plays before they happen, making teammates better without forcing anything.
Is the best big man in the game. The best player in the game. I apologize. Best player in the game. I like him because as a big man, he's an old school big man and a new school big man. I don't like 7'4" or 5" shooting threes. He has that ability. He goes to it. But when he needs to get in the post, that's where he starts. He goes in the post. He makes his guys great. He's going to play his way. Love the way he plays.
If you're enjoying this breakdown, hit subscribe right now because this era deserves to be documented properly. Larry Bird, a man known for respecting pure basketball IQ, hasn't held back when it comes to Nikola Jokic. Bird has spoken highly about Jokic's unique style and quiet dominance, making it clear that this isn't just hype. When someone with Bird's mind gives you praise, it means you're doing something right. Even among the most respected legends ever, Jokic has earned real admiration for how he's reshaped the modern game. Then there's Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq has never been soft on today's big men. He sees himself as the gatekeeper of what he calls the big man standard, and he takes that role seriously. For years, he's been brutal toward modern centers, brushing off their numbers and questioning their impact compared to past giants. But Nikola Jokic forced a rare exception. On the Dan Patrick Show, Shaq openly admitted that Jokic is the best big man of this era. That wasn't hype. That wasn't TV talk. That was respect. He acknowledged Jokic's dominance, his skill, and how different his game really is. And here's the twist. Shaq also admitted that he downplayed Jokic at first, even after another MVP. That tracks. Shaq has always believed tough criticism makes big men better. He pushes because that's how he was pushed. But Jokic doesn't react to noise. No tweets, no interviews, no talking back. He just shows up and cooks, game after game, season after season. Jokic keeps leveling up, letting the scoreboard and the record books do all the talking. For a lot of fans, Jokic is already past Shaq on all-time rankings, and ironically, Shaq himself highlighted why. Jokic has a way deeper offensive bag. The longevity will tell you if you're going to be good or not. So I think it's still too early to tell for Joker. He's a good player, don't get me wrong. He's kicking ass. But yeah, it's still a little too early to tell or put him to me in that category with those centers. You said because, let me see, Shaq got what, 4, Dream got 2, and David Robinson got 2. So he can post up, pass like a guard, and stretch the floor with elite three-point shooting. That versatility makes him a nightmare to defend. Shaq even pointed out that no center in NBA history has dominated every area of the court like this. Jokic isn't just great, he's changing the blueprint. So what actually makes Nikola Jokic the rare exception to Shaq's brutal criticism of modern NBA centers? Simple. Jokic didn't abandon the old school, he upgraded it. While many big men drifted away from post play, Jokic fused classic dominance with a modern skill set that's never existed at this level. Shaq himself has acknowledged it. Jokic can punish defenders on the block with strength, balance, and footwork the same way dominant centers used to do it. He seals deep, uses angles, and finishes through contact like a throwback. But that's only the start, because then Jokic breaks the rules. He steps out and hits threes like a guard. I love to play with. He's a problem. He's a problem. Like he's like Jason Kidd as a point guard. Like those guys don't have to score to affect the game, but he also scores. But he can score. He shoots a 3. What can he do? Jump. Yeah, he can't jump. He can't jump. And you see how big he is? There's no muscle definition on him. And he's just wearing you down. And he's strong. And I love him. Yeah, I love him. I don't even know what other words to say. I love him. He becomes a playmaking hub in the post, the way Arvydas Sabonis did back in the 90s. And at the top of the key, he runs dribble handoffs, screens, and reads defenses like Domantas Sabonis does in today's NBA. That blend makes Jokic impossible to label. That's why both old heads and modern fans respect him. He speaks both basketball languages fluently. Shaq's own legacy as one of the greatest centers in NBA history was cemented when he arrived in Los Angeles. That move didn't happen by
It was orchestrated by Jerry West, the legendary executive known as the Logo. Around that same time, West also took a gamble on a skinny high school kid named Kobe Bryant, proving once again he could see greatness before the world caught up. That's why Jerry West's words matter. He played alongside Wilt Chamberlain, battled Bill Russell, coached Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and built championship teams around Shaquille O'Neal. He also helped shape the Showtime Lakers, powered by Magic Johnson, the NBA's first truly dominant, oversized playmaker. West has witnessed every evolution of greatness. Jokic is probably statistically, when it comes to overall game, the worst MVP winner. He's the worst MVP winner in the last 40 years. Why you say that when you're talking about MVP? The guys outside of first and second place, their teams was first and second place. The people who won the MVP, their teams was first and second. So when he speaks highly of Nikola Jokic, it's not hype, it's historical context. His praise highlights the subtle details casual fans miss: the timing, the angles, the manipulation of defenders. Jokic isn't just dominating games, he's mastering them. Jerry West zeroed in on the details casual fans miss: Nikola Jokic's touch, basketball IQ, and insane dexterity let him control games without relying on raw athleticism. He doesn't out-jump people for rebounds, he outthinks them. Jokic reads the ball, anticipates angles, and positions himself perfectly, turning rebounds into another form of dominance. That's real basketball intelligence at work. Then there's Gilbert Arenas. Known for his skepticism toward European players, Arenas has been one of Jokic's loudest critics. On his podcast, he keeps repeating the same tired arguments, refusing to fully accept the Nugget superstar's dominance. But here's where the logic falls apart. The first major flaw in Arenas' take is a misunderstanding of what the MVP award actually represents. MVP isn't about who finishes with the best record, it's about value. You can see that clearly with teams like the Cavaliers or Celtics. Let me say something to the basketball world, man. When you in the post and you get 11 dribbles, man, if you get 11 dribbles in the league, man, that's like unheard of. Joker's getting 7, 8, 9, re-spitting, half-spinning, coming out the spin, pump fake, man. Come on, man, where the guards at? Listen, where the guards at, bro? Come on, man, you can't stop no Jokic like that. What's happening? You know why he getting 11 dribbles? Everybody's scared because he picking them apart. Their success comes from deep, well-built rosters, not one player carrying the entire operation every night. Denver is the opposite. The Nuggets don't have elite depth or a perfectly balanced roster, yet when Jokic is on the floor, they look like contenders. When he sits, everything collapses. That drop-off is brutal, and that's the definition of value. Jokic doesn't just score, he elevates everyone around him. Shooters get better looks, bigs get easier finishes, role players suddenly look confident. That's why Denver stays relevant at the highest level. Calling Jokic one of the weakest MVPs statistically is flat out wrong. The numbers don't support it. Jokic piles up historic stat lines, breaks records, and dominates efficiency metrics year after year. This isn't a debate backed by data, it's a take built on ignoring what's actually happening on the court. At this point, those criticisms say more about the critic than the player. Jokic keeps evolving, the noise fades, and the legacy keeps growing. Charles Barkley brings a completely different energy to the Jokic conversation. As a former dominant big man, Barkley is famous for fearless honesty and scorching takes, and he hasn't held back at all. He's openly blasted the Denver Nuggets front office, arguing that they failed Nikola Jokic at the highest level. Barkley sees Jokic as a once-in-a-generation talent, and in his eyes, Denver hasn't done enough to surround him with the kind of help that maximizes championship potential. That criticism hits harder because Barkley's lived it himself. Jokic is a joke, okay? He's a joke. You watch him play different, and you look at him and everyone's talking about, well, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. If you watch him around the basket, he absolutely will shoot the ball, touch the ball.
That tells you how good he knows what wasted talent feels like. Barkley spent years putting up elite numbers without a true title-ready roster around him. That frustration stays with you. That's why when he speaks on Jokic, it's not noise, it's experience. You only hear this kind of criticism when talking about all-time greats. The same conversations followed LeBron James during his first run with the Cavaliers in the 2000s. Kevin Garnett heard it for years in Minnesota. Poor front office decisions don't just slow careers, they rewrite legacies. NBA legends understand this better than anyone. Franchise leadership can define how history remembers you. That's where Joakim Noah enters the picture. One of the elite defensive anchors of the 2010, Noah's prime didn't last long, but his impact was undeniable. He was the complete opposite of Jokic, relentless defensively, non-stop energy, but extremely limited offensively. Fans still remember Noah's awkward, broken-looking shooting form. It became legendary for all the wrong reasons. But despite that contrast, Noah deeply respects Jokic's offensive brilliance. And here's the key part. As a defensive specialist, Noah sees what casual fans miss.
He's the best passer I've ever seen, excluding no position. He's the best I've ever seen in passing. It's funny, like when I was young in the league, and I can remember like Arvydas Sabonis was over here, and he was older, and I'm just seeing him doing these passes, and he makes threes, and I used to always be like, dang, I wonder what he looked like when he was young. And I imagine that is similar.
While critics love to label Jokic's defense as his one weakness, one of the sharpest defensive minds of that era challenges that narrative. Jokic isn't flashy on defense. He doesn't chase blocks or highlight steals. He reads plays, positions himself, controls space, and forces tough decisions. That's real value. Defense isn't just jumping high, it's thinking faster. And Jokic does that every possession. Nikola Jokic may not look like a textbook elite defender, but his impact on that end is real, and it's undeniable. Defense isn't just about blocks and highlights. Jokic's basketball IQ, constant communication, and awareness make him a massive presence every possession. He's always talking, pointing, reading actions before they fully develop. Add in his huge frame, long reach, and grown man strength, and you get a defensive X factor. Jokic knows exactly where to be. He cuts off angles, clogs passing lanes, and forces opponents into uncomfortable decisions. That kind of defense doesn't show up in flashy clips, but it wins games. One guy who knows this firsthand is Dwight Howard, one of the most dominant defensive forces of the early 2000s. Dwight matched up with Jokic during the 2020 Western Conference Finals, and even with all his size and experience, it wasn't easy.
Yeah, they won a championship, but they just let guys go. If you got a guy that great, you got to win some more because he got another 5 years. When he gets older, his game gonna still be fine because he's not the most athletic brother in the world. But I'm telling you, you cannot waste this guy's prime. This guy's the best player in the world. Get Greek.
While player for the Lakers, Dwight spoke openly about how difficult Jokic was to defend. Not because of speed, not because of hops, but because Jokic makes you think non-stop. Every fake, every pause, every pass keeps defenders guessing. Dwight admitted it took obsessive film study and mental warfare just to slow Jokic down. That says everything. Jokic demands a level of defensive preparation that very few players in NBA history have ever required. Then there's Tracy McGrady, one of the most electric scorers of the 2000s, a pure bucket. He never got the chance to compete deep in the playoffs because the right support was never there. Recently, T-Mac said he wishes he could have played next to Nikola Jokic. He praised Jokic's rare ability to lift everyone around him. Shooters eat, slashers thrive, stars get easier looks. Just imagine what that duo could have done. McGrady couldn't stop praising Jokic's game, even when he